Get ready to experience the explosion. You're tuned to the Indiana Blast TV network. From Kuntz Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana, the Blast TV network presents USISL Soccer as today the Chicago Stingers take on the Indiana Blast. Today's game is brought to you by Soccer Unlimited. We cover the entire field. By Coca-Cola and your local Coca-Cola bottler. By Ameritech and by Kroger. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a windy Kuntz Stadium. Ken Tomash along with Ian Martin today as the Blast try to get victory number 2 on the season and number 1 in the D3 Pro League. Ian, as a coach, you have to know getting that first win is always the big one of a season, so there has to be a little bit of relaxation in the Blast locker room that at least that monkey's off their backs.
Absolutely. They came off a big win, 4-0, and they were a bit unlucky the week before playing against the Rockford team, losing in shootouts. So I think there's a good step in their bounce this time around. The players are pretty confident.
And a few changes really paid off in that the Blast brought in the brothers Obi and Emeka Monami. They paid off immediately, scored a goal within the first couple of minutes, tried to move Craig Ginsberg up front. He's out today. That'll be a loss, but maybe this team is starting to come together a little bit now.
Yeah, I think so. I think the boys are a bit confident. I think the new addition of the players will really help. Those particular young men have a potential to win games single-handedly if they get exposed one-on-one. It's going to be a lot more exciting for them now.
And Greg Rakestraw is downstairs with the 2 new additions to the Blast lineup, Obi and Emeka Monami. Greg?
All right, thanks a lot. Now we're joined on the sidelines by Obi and Emeka Monami, a couple of guys who just joined the club this week and already a deadly scoring combination. In the second minute of their game Friday night against Cincinnati, scored a quick goal. And Obi, just tell us a little bit about what it's like to be able to play with your brother for this team.
Well, it's a new start for us. We played together in Milwaukee and had a great season when we both got traded there for the MPSL. And to come here now and start off the season well together, scoring goals, should signify that we have a great future here with this team.
Well, it was a very productive combination on Friday night, but unfortunately, Emeka won't be out there today or for the next couple of weeks. Talk about your injury and hopefully your recovery time.
Well, I got injured at the end of the game on Friday. It was a knee injury, and it's possibly about 2 or 3 weeks it'll take. Feel really bad because I was looking forward to keep the momentum we picked up from the win Friday going, but I think the team will do fine, and I'll heal up and I'll be back to join the rest of the season.
And even though you've only been here a week, Emeka, talk quickly about your thoughts on this team.
Well, we definitely have a lot of potential with some of the additions of the players from Columbus with some USISL experience. Really helps the core of Indianapolis players. And once we get comfortable with each other, we should do well, real well.
All right, guys. Obi, good luck this afternoon. Emeka, good luck in recovery. Back for more action here in the pregame show and in just a moment on the Blast TV network.
Time Warner Cable is looking for enthusiastic customer service personnel to join our customer call center. Strong communication skills and a minimum of 1 year phone experience is required. Available shifts are noon to 11 p.m. Starting pay is commensurate with experience and ranges between $7.75 and $12.85 an hour. If interested, send or fax your resume to our offices and you could be on your way to an exciting career in entertainment communications.
The ladies and I used to sit around and play cards, knit, and watch the soaps. We made quite a team. Then one day, Helen heard about strength training. She got a free fact sheet just by calling 1-800-222-2225. We found lifting weights builds muscles and bones. It improves our balance, too. So now when we get together, we exercise. It really gives us a lift. Give yourself a lift. Call for a free fact sheet.
If you're the kind of person who'd rather tune an engine than eat, who reads a tachometer like a love story, for whom the roar of fully blown horsepower is a lullaby, have we got a machine for you. The F-16 Fighting Falcon, It'll crank out a generous 50,000 horsepower, enough to push it from 0 to 1350 in under a minute. And in the hands of the right mechanic, it'll blow the doors off anything. Aim high, Air Force.
And welcome back to blustery Kuntz Stadium, everybody. Ken Tomash, Ian Martin with you today. Time now for our Keys to the Game segment. Coach, what does each team need to do to win today?
I think the Stingers team, most teams represent the style of their coach. Brett Hall was a very hard-working blue-collar type of player. He's talking about coming out and working hard, number one. Number two, they're a counter-attacking type of team, so they get behind the ball and they look to quickly counter on the other team. And the third thing for them, I think, is the slow down the speed of the Blast team. They're worried about the overall team speed of the Blast, so I think you're going to find them getting behind the ball as quickly as possible and then a quick outlet.
As for the Blast, you played against them. What do they need to do to win today?
I think what's happening to the Blast is they're becoming more structured defensively. They came off a big win for themselves, as well as building on the momentum of the win. And now they're starting to form more as a team. They scored 4 goals. They lost in a shootout situation. So they're showing some success and some signs of really coming together as a team. So I think that's the most important thing for them.
First game of this rivalry. These two teams will play 4 times this season, so they're going to get to know each other quite a bit before the end of the year. Right now, we're going to get to know Brett Hall, the head coach of the Stingers. He's with Greg Rakestraw downstairs. Greg?
All right, we're now joined by Chicago Stingers head coach Brett Hall. And Brett, team 1-1 so far in league play. Just talk about your team's performance so far this season.
We played pretty well. We were down in Texas. It was early in the season. 2 good teams, and one beat us. Houston, it was a really good game. Could have gone either way, but they beat us. And then Austin was actually the same way. I think that was a game whoever scored first. It was just one of those games, and we scored first and ended up getting another one later when they were pushed up. But guys have played hard and played pretty well so far. I'm pleased with the way they're playing.
And Brett, tell us about some of your key players we should look for this afternoon.
I think most of them are more towards the back. Mike Richardson, red-haired fella. My number is, I think he's number 4. And then Greg Muir, our sweeper. Both are experienced players and very tough. We've got some young players in the front. Dave Deck plays on the wing and he's been doing pretty well. Matt Hammett on the other wing, up front plays good speed and works pretty hard. So we don't have a lot of big name players, but just a lot of hard workers, and that's the way we're trying to play.
All right, Brett, thanks a lot. Good luck to you this afternoon. Be back with the kickoff of today's game between the Stingers and the Blast in just a moment on the Blast TV network.
Langeman's Deli and Bagels is a great place for a fast meal that isn't fast food. We have 16 types of bagels baked from scratch daily from family recipes. Get your day going with a bagel and your favorite gourmet coffee. Or drop in for a delicious deli sandwich for lunch. Langeman's can even help with your party or corporate gathering with our boxed lunches, deli trays, party trays, and our Party Bagel Hero, with 3 convenient Indianapolis locations. Langeman's Deli and Bagels.
Welcome back to Kuntz Stadium, everybody. You see the wind blowing quite a bit here. Just about set to get kicked off. This is looking at the starting lineups real quickly for the Stingers. I'll go with Marcus Roy in goal, Greg Muir at sweeper, Chris Jarr starts in the back line, as well as Ian Williams, who celebrated his 31st birthday yesterday. Michael Richardson and David Richardson are in midfield, along with Phil Wolf and Chip Harkness. Matt Hamden, who scored 2 goals for the Stingers against Austin the last time out, starts up front along with Pat White. And David Deck will get you the Blast starters in just a minute. At Kuntz Stadium on a sunny, warm, breezy afternoon as the Chicago Stingers and Indiana Blast kick things off. Here's Shane Schmidt going down just outside the box, and Marcus Roy out to pick that one up. Marcus An excellent goalie. Played at Northern Illinois University, where he played for his dad. Willie Roy was the former coach of the Chicago Sting of the NASL. You remember them, Ian?
Oh, yeah.
Willie was a great coach, and they had some excellent teams there in Chicago. And Chicago will return to the outdoor game next year with the expansion team in MLS. But for right now, it's the Stingers, who are trying to rebound from a 5-13 record in the Select League last year, off to a 1-1 start this year. They lost at Houston in their opener 3-2 before beating Austin 2-0 the last time out a couple of weeks ago. This will be a free kick from just outside the area on the far side, and Michael Richardson set to take it. Both Richardson brothers playing today. Both Crawford brothers playing today for the Blast. Two other sets of brothers we'll tell you about in a bit. Free kick, this one blocked by Shane Schmidt, and we'll go out over on the far side for a throw-in for the Stingers. Oh, we have a chance. We'll show you the Blast starting lineup. They're going with Mile Milovac in goal once again. Russell G. and George Crawford on the back line, along with Alan Alderson and Randy Whiteford, the rookie from IUPUI, who has moved into the starting lineup. Eric Nichols is in midfield, along with Mark Phillips, Lauren Crawford, and Shane Schmidt. And Obi Monami and Mike Sloan start up front for Jimmy McDonald. Here's one into the box, but that header not connected on by David Deck, and it goes over the end line, and so it'll be a goal kick for Mile Milovac. We talked in the pregame show about the Blast being without team captain and midfielder Craig Ginsburg, and so Mike Sloan gets his first start. Sloan is pretty quick, but nothing like Craig Ginsburg. And so the Blast are going to have to come up with some speed from guys like Lauren Crawford, who's very quick, and Obi Monami, who's very quick, but admittedly not yet in game shape. He had been training with the Columbus Crew MLS, but not yet in game shape. But from the flashes that we saw of he and his brother the other night against Cincinnati, and once those two do get in great shape and play together some more on this team, this is going to be a potent offense. And now we see a goalie coming out. The Chicago goalie is leaving the field, and I don't know what the problem is down on the field. Oh, he has. Oh, you see, that's right. It confused me a bit. Marcus Roy was wearing a red goalkeeper jersey, and now you see he's taken that off. There was too much confusion between that and the red of the Blast, so now he's just wearing the black T-shirt. That's prior planning, folks. Milovac's goal kick sails across midfield. Will be tracked down over there by David Richardson for Chicago. The Stingers in gold jerseys, black shorts, and the Blast going with that Man United look today with the red jerseys, red shorts, and red socks. Free kick far side after the foul on Chicago. Just underway in the first half of play from Kuntz Stadium. This is Randy Whiteford. Alan Alderson will send it back. Eric Nichols making his first start today. Young player from Ohio State. Lauren Crawford loses it. And here comes Michael Richardson, sending it up ahead. It gets caught up in that swirling wind and gets away from Pat White. And so it'll be a throw in here on the near side as it bounces down by the fence. End of a 3-game homestand today for the Blast. Saw them lose last week 2-1 in shootout to Rockford. And then beat the Cincinnati Riverhawks of the Premier League on Friday night 4-0. George Crawford scored the first goal in Blast history on a header in our last TV broadcast against Rockford. He'll throw this one in. Bit tricky today on throw-ins, Ian, because of that wind. You really have to keep things short, and any long balls are at your own risk today. Mark Phillips will send that one long, and Marcus Roy will pick it up on a bounce. And Roy will send it out of there, out to midfield. See, that one took a weird bounce over David Deck. Eric Nichols has it, goes off Deck. And G tried to clear. G scored his first goal of the season as well on Friday night on a penalty kick in the second half against Cincinnati. These two teams will play again on Friday night up in Chicago. This one very important not only because it's a D3 Pro League game in the North Central Division, but also a US Open Cup qualifier. With a win today, the Blast could get within 1 point of front-running Rockford, was off to a 2-0 start in the Cup standings, but only 4 points because one of those victories was over the Blast in shootout, and you only get 1 point for that. Chicago putting on the attack. Here's Harkness losing it. Alan Alderson. And Phillips clears it up ahead off Mike Sloan's noggin, tracked down on the far side by Greg Muir. Just about 5 minutes in, Kevin Deck was dangerously close to being offsides there. He fanned on that one and goes down in the area.
Yeah, I think he got away with that one, Ken. He looked offside from this point of view.
Mile Milovac, he and Ernie Yarborough shared the shutout of Cincinnati the other night. Milovac ranked 7th in the D3 Pro League with a goals against average of just .88. That one got caught up in the wind and went out over on the far side. Throw in for Chicago. .50-50 ball by Wolf and Phillips, and now that time they do catch him offsides.
I think you'll see Milo drop kicking quite a bit in the first half, Cam, with the wind being so strong. Keep it low, push the ball forward, try to get it over the halfway mark.
There's Russell G., the veteran defender, played the last few years with the Minnesota Thunder, now the A-League. Comes in here and solidifies that backline defense. He'll get that one up in the air, looking for Mike Sloan, but headed back the other way by the Stingers. And now Lauren Crawford gets shoved off the ball. One thing about these Stingers, they've got some sizable players. Some big guys out there. David Deck is a big guy. White, also fairly large, so a size advantage. That's why they have to try to contain the smaller and quicker Blast players. Muir will send this one long to White. A redhead down in the corner, marked by Nichols. Keeps it in, everybody calls it out, and the linesman concurs. No score from Kuntz Stadium. Ken Tomash, Ian Martin with you. 7 minutes into this one. Here's Obi Monami. Trying to get away from Greg Jarr. Loose ball at midfield, head back the other way by Ian Williams. And George Crawford got up high on that 50-50 ball. And now here's Phillips. Scored his first goal of the season Friday night. Shane Schmidt, far side to Mike Sloan. Marked by Williams, and Sloan puts it up into the seats. In fact, that one is out of the stadium and out onto the street. They're going to need a new ball.
Little donation there, Ken, maybe.
Well, doing their best to help the community, the Blast are.
Yeah. I think you would see early in the game so far, there's been a couple serious direct balls played, try to play over the back of the defense against the Blast. Again, that counter-attacking style, they're trying to stretch our Blast defense sideways and see if they can drop one in behind them so far. The Blast has done really well, and Russell G's the key. He's the organizer back there.
Jimmy McDonald looking for his first league win. Here's Alan Alderson trying to track that one down in a foot race with Jim Harkness. Get it up to David Deck, marked by Nichols. Good tight marking today by the Blast. Deck will go down, got his feet tangled with Nichols. Try to get it up to White, but Crawford is there. White does a great job to get it out in front, but Mark Phillips is there, and then G clears. Up to Crawford. Crawford goes down, play on. He's battling Michael Richardson for it. And finally, they will call the foul on Lauren Crawford after he got decked right before that. Taken back the other way, off too quick off the restart. Monami goes down, just outside the center circle, and Jimmy McDonald is up and screaming at that one. This referee Ken Vieira finally makes the call. Jimmy will get animated at times. But he was right up off the bench in a heartbeat just as soon as Obi went down just outside the center circle. There's Russell G. Take the free kick from just on this side of midfield. Looking for Alderson, bounces into the area, and Marcus Roy traps it there. Roy had a 1.71 goals against average last season with the Stingers, and that's a bit higher than he would like. The reason why the Stingers struggled last season. His opposite number, Mile Milovac, is off to a great start. Has started every game so far and has allowed just one regulation goal. Now here's Obi Monami. Got tangled up with Chris Jarr. Call the foul on Obi, and Chicago will have a free kick. Here you see Iris Ginsburg on this Mother's Day, the mother of Craig Ginsburg. His parents flown in today from Mobile, Alabama, and will be in Chicago next week as these two teams will tangle once again on Friday night. The Blast then will play in Rockford on Saturday night. Won't be home again until June the 1st against Cleveland. Now Shane Schmidt, far side. David Richardson gets there first, though. And so Chicago will start the attack from its own end. Here's Michael Richardson trying to get around Schmidt. Blast really haven't made it back into the attack zone in quite a while. Thus far, Chicago dictating the action. You see the time remaining. Under 34 minutes to go, first half. Neither team with a shot yet. Still kind of feeling each other out. First time these two have ever played, but they'll get to know each other pretty well, and we'll get to know that stretch of I-65 that separates these two cities, because this is the first of 4 meetings between these two. Obi Monami sends it up ahead. Too far for Alan Alderson, and Jim Harkness is there. I have a feeling those two are going to be going at it all day. That time they do, and they whistle Alderson for the foul. Tell you what's coming up for the Blast. They'll be at the Stingers on Friday night the 16th. And that little 2-game setup to the Chicago area concludes with another 7:30 game Saturday night against the Raptors, and they'll be looking for revenge against Rockford, having lost 2-1 in shootout last weekend in our last TV game. The Raptors off to a 4-0 start. That one skips past the Chicago front line and to Mile Milovac. Looking very colorful today. Gets that one up high in the breeze. Randy Whiteford will clear it for the Blast. Ian Williams with it. Now Mark Phillips puts some pressure on. Jim Harkness near side. Nice through ball to David Deck, and Deck collides with Russell G. The ball goes out of bounds. And it'll be throw in for Chicago. Harkness throws it in. Wolf heads it right back to him down here in the corner. He'll try the crosser. And the wind, you see, got that one. There was no way anybody was going to get to that one for Chicago.
I think in the game today, Ken, internationally and around the world, most of the serves we're seeing in the box are whipped in or bending into the box, especially when you have the wind at your back. I think our young players can learn from this. It keeps a goalkeeper on their line, and the balls are being played in a lot quicker than normally. And that particular ball just got caught up in the wind, blew out of bounds.
It's going to make it very difficult on corner kicks and everything today. On an otherwise beautiful day for soccer. Hardly a cloud in the sky. You see that one got caught way up and just came right back down. This one will bounce into the area. Deck is there. Tries a header, goes off Eric Nichols, though. And we will have our first corner of the afternoon. And now we'll see exactly how the wind affects what Chicago's able to do. They might even try to play it short, having seen what happened on the last throw-in and what's going on today. It'll be Pat White to take it down in the corner. Blast have 2 men hugging the goalpost. That one went nowhere. Far side, tracked down and sent back the other way. Deck gets up and heads it high, but it'll go over the crossbar and out of play for another goal kick. So they didn't elect to play it short. And now we'll see how, if Milovac changes his strategy at all. Having a tough time even getting it close to the center circle now. Shane Schmidt up ahead to Mike Sloan. And Sloan in a foot race with Greg Muir Gets free. Sloan with a shot saved by Marcus Roy. First shot of the day, and Roy equal to the task, but he punches it out for a corner kick for the Blast.
Great burst of speed there by Mike Sloan. That's what the Stingers are concerned about. He got exposed 1v1 in the corner and turned the corner. And Obi was just trying to get in position for a through ball on a square pass, but a good save by the keeper. Got us a corner kick.
This portion of today's game brought to you without interruption by Coca-Cola and your local Coca-Cola bottler. Corner kick far side. Mark Phillips set to take it. There you see Eric Nichols. Phillips will send it into the box, headed back out there by Deck, and across the touchline on the far side for a throw-in. Deck quickly intercepts that throw-in. Sloan tries a sliding tackle, but Chicago with it and on the move. Stolen right back. Here's Phillips going through the defense.
Almost got through there.
All right, but they stripped him of it, and here comes Chicago back the other way. That one goes off Randy Whiteford, and they will call the handball as that one reached up and smacked Randy on the forearm. Stingers in the familiar black and gold that the Sting used to wear in Chicago. Wearing gold jerseys and black shorts, and the Blast in red jerseys and red shorts today. Here's Obi Monami. Slips down on the turf, and Jar will send it up ahead to White. Stolen away by Lauren Crawford. Nice defensive move by Lauren. Scored his first goal of the season the other night against Cincinnati. This one too far, headed back the other way by George Crawford, and across the touchline on the far side, a throw in for the Stingers. That one goes too far and over the end line. And Milovac will have a chance for it again.
This is an interesting matchup, Ken. The Stingers are playing a 3-4-3 formation, and the Blast with a 4-4-2. So far we've seen quite a few diagonal balls played directly out of the back to the front runners for the Stingers. And trying to get our Blast defenders on their heels a bit. It's giving us some trouble right now. It'll be interesting to see how they adjust in the second half when we have the wind in our back.
Now Milovac gets that one down a little bit more and gets a little bit more distance out of it. But Chicago controlling far side. It's David Deck. Eric Nichols takes it away from him. And back to Russell G. And so the Blast will try to build from the back once again. This one's stolen away by Chicago, though, just outside the area. It's Deck with a shot, and that one blocked by Russell G. Schmidt has it. But it bounces off him and goes to Phil Wolf. And now cleared away by George Crawford. And up to the center circle again. Ian Williams heads it back up. Now Michael Richardson. Marked by Randy Whiteford here to Hamnet. Left side. Hamnet will chip it into the box, and Shane Schmidt heads it out. Harkness gets it back outside the area. Harkness still on his feet. Harkness right in front. Shot just missed.
Oh, he's going to want that one back. That was a good build-up by the Stingers, and the numbers there were pretty good. We had 7 red shirts defending against almost 6 attacking yellow players. That's why they had such a good opportunity.
So shots even, one apiece, as you see Melee. Hamnet has it for Chicago, trying to get around Randy Whiteford. And now he finally tried to get around Eric Nichols, but slipped and tripped. Taken away by David Richardson. And now Lauren Crawford with it for the Blast. Now Lauren Crawford tried to kick that off Chris Jar, and did. Mike Sloan will throw it in on the far side. Here you see Barbara Crawford watching her sons play, George and Lauren. Happy Mother's Day to you, Barb. George Sr. next to her.
Looked a little nervous, George Sr.
I think fathers are always that way. Nearly 20 minutes into this game from Kuntz Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana, between the Chicago Stingers and Indiana Blast on the Blast TV network. Ken Tomash, Ian Martin with you today, as Russell G set to take the free kick far side. Cleared out by Michael Richardson. And Randy Whiteford sends it here across the near side touchline. Throw in for the Stingers. Our next broadcast on the Blast TV network of the Blast will come on Friday, June the 6th. That's when the next game that we will have for you be against the Tulsa Roughnecks. Check your local listings for when that will be on in your area. Next time we take the air will be for a Blaze game on June the 5th, the night before that game, as the Blaze open their season against the Cleveland Eclipse. And a little bit later on in this game, we'll talk with Jennifer Shannon of the Blaze, who's here today. Mike Sloan goes down on the far side, and now here it is in the area again. It's Deck. Deck with a shot, and he scores! David Deck got free just outside the area, and from about 10 yards away, right-footed it past Milovat. So in the 21st minute, David Deck puts the Stingers on top.
That was a really good first touch by David Deck, because the pass was right on the money to his feet, and he just touched the ball in front of the last defender on the outside and sealed him off, so the defender couldn't really tackle him without maybe giving up a penalty kick. And he pushed it into the corner. It was a good placement shot.
Deck was the Stingers' Rookie of the Year in 1995 with 8 goals and 5 assists. Then he had 3 goals and an assist last year. 2-time All-American at Trinity University and a 2-time All-State pick at Stevenson High. David Deck with the assist to Michael Richardson puts the Stingers on the board in the 21st minute. Now offense becomes a little more urgent. That one will be headed out of the area by the Stingers. As the Blast look for the equalizer, Marcus Roy will clear this one, and it'll go too far over out on the far side. Let's take a look at replay on this one, Ian. I'll explain as he gets around his man.
First touch, he just cuts inside him, seals off the defender, and just pushes it by him into the back post. That was a good ball from the midfielder that served it into his feet, and real composed. We see a lot of young players trying to smack it as hard as they can. It's a difficult ball for a goalkeeper to save.
Now the Blast find themselves down 1-0. Now this one will go out over on the far side for a throw-in for Chicago.
I keep seeing good numbers by the Stingers getting forward. We're only one man up, it seems, defensively at times. 7 versus 6, 6 versus 5. With this strong win, I'd like to see the Blast just get a few more boys back and hold on a bit, because we're doing all right up front. Sloan's dangerous and Obi's dangerous. We just need to get behind the ball. The win is really helping the Stingers.
And Jimmy McDonald not afraid to make changes, not only bringing new players in, but moving guys around who are already out on the field. We'll see if he elects to do any of that. Of course, in the USISL, you get, just like in international soccer, 4 field player substitutes and 1 goalkeeper if you choose to use it. And he has a full bench today. Here's Pat White. And then Alderson will slide in there to try to get that ball away from Harkness. Here across the near side touchline, Russell G will throw it in. Looking for Mike Sloan. Jar steps in front. And now it's taken away by Hamnett. Matt Hamnett knocks it back.
Another one of those long balls served directly into us. I'm sure Coach Brett Hall likes a 3 versus 4 scenario for the Stingers up front. So as soon as they play it back, we should expect one of those long direct balls into our defensive third.
Phil Wolf sent that one down here in the corner across the near side touchline, and Randy Whiteford will throw it in for the Blast. Kid from IUPUI, former All-American, NAIA All-American at Grace before he transferred in, doing well for the Metros. Here you see George Crawford. Just under 21 minutes left now, first half. The Stingers on top on a goal by David Deck in the 21st minute. And looking for more. Wolf, marked by Phillips. Tries to spin free to get around him. Nothing doing. Still dancing out there. Here's Harkness. Serves it in, and that one skipped away from Russell G's foot. G takes Deck down, and it'll be a free kick for the Stingers.
Call. Probably a good call there, Ken. Excuse me.
And a yellow card, in fact.
I think the referee, Kim Vieira, warned Russell earlier when he was a little late on the first call, so he's booking him now to keep things under control. It's a good job by the ref now. The rest of the players will take note of that. Richardson's probably going to smack this left-footed. When the wind at his back, this ball can really take some different turns.
This will come from just outside the 18-yard area. Under 20 minutes to go. Deck is out there along with Harkness. We'll see if Harkness runs off. He does. Deck with the shot and punched clear by Milovac. First save of the day. Weather conditions today, ideal. 70 degrees, sunny. Barely a cloud in the sky today. Let's take a look at that foul that brought out the yellow card on Russell G. As he comes in low and takes him out from behind, yeah. Ken Vieira taking control of this one early. Under 20 minutes now to go, first half, 1-0 Chicago. And we're pleased to be joined now by Indiana Blaze forward Jennifer Shannon, who in just next weekend will have her first game with her team, an exhibition game up in Rockford, and then the home opener in a few weeks here against Cleveland. Jennifer, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
You guys excited?
Very excited. Excited to get the season started and start bringing in some fans like there are here today.
You guys have had some tryouts, some workouts.
Yes, we have. We actually have our first scrimmage on Wednesday, so we'll see how the team works out in a team atmosphere instead of just training.
I would imagine it's got to be kind of tough because you have some collegiate players who will be coming in, some Notre Damers, some Butler players who you even haven't had a chance to play with yet. So getting you guys on the same page is not going to be easy to get started. You could use all the scrimmage time I would think that you could get.
We sure could. I think the college girls took a week off and just went home and kind of vegged out for a while after finals. So I think they'll be excited to get back to play, and it will just make the atmosphere more competitive, I think.
Now you've played in this league before. You've played in Atlanta and Cincinnati. What's the caliber of play in the W League?
Actually, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty competitive. With each team, you have those maybe 5-6 really good players, and then the rest of the players around you sometimes are really young and they work really hard for you. So it's a good balance, and I think the league will be it'll be a lot of fun this year.
Folks watching us in Chicago should know the Blaze will also be taking on the Chicago Cobras this year in that the tough Central Division, where you'll also be playing the Madison Freeze and the Columbus Zigs, the Cleveland Eclipse, and the Rockford Dactyls. We'll have your opener here on the Blast TV network against the Cleveland Eclipse. It seems like, as a direct opposite to the men's game, Jennifer, where America is still trying to build its men's program up to the level of the rest of the world, but the women's game in this country, America really leads the way, and that was evidenced the other night when you saw the USA just destroy England, and they've won World Cup and the Olympics last year.
Yeah, I think the Americans definitely playing overseas and stuff. You can just see there's a level there from the Americans that it's just a little more advanced, and it should be a lot of fun.
Mike Sloan in the area. Sloan, and that one is cleared away by the Chicago defense.
I was going to wonder, Ken, how Jennifer became such a good player. Any idea, Jennifer?
I think she had some good coaching.
Yeah. She's had some good experience, played overseas in Finland professionally and Sweden for a couple of years. So I think what you mentioned about some of the younger players and some of the experienced Notre Dame girls joining the team, our women's game is #1 in the world. And it's pretty exciting what our national team has been able to accomplish with a gold medal in the World Championship. But hopefully the fans in the community will come out and see Jennifer and some of her teammates playing this time around.
Now, Jennifer, what about the Women's Pro League that's supposed to start up in, well, from varying reports, either 98 or 99, either before or right after the World Cup? Do you think the time is right for that? I mean, it seems like advertisers and many other people seem to think that the time is now for a Women's Pro League.
I think that's possible, and especially with the World Championships coming here, I think it'll just add a little more excitement, as did for the men in the MLS. So hopefully that'll work out, and hopefully I'll still be playing then.
Any idea what you do after you score a goal? We heard a rumor, Jennifer, you do something fancy after you score. Is that going to happen this season?
Maybe a backflip in there somewhere.
That'll be nice.
All right, we'll come out and see that. The Blaze's first game, remember, folks, is May 31st, Saturday night, against the Cleveland Eclipse. It's a 7:30 game, and just like the Blaze, or just like the Blast home opener was, it'll be IYSA night, and all Indiana Youth Soccer Association registered players will get in free that night. So hopefully another big crowd here at Kuntz Stadium that night. Jennifer Shannon, thanks for stopping by. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the game.
All right. Jennifer Shannon of the Indiana Blaze. For information on the Blaze or the Blast, call 327-KICK. This portion of today's game brought to you without interruption by Ameritech Cellular, new sponsor to the Blast TV network. We're glad to have them. Obi Monami sends that one skipping across the area, and Marcus Roy has it. Remember, you can still get involved for TV sponsorship opportunities to keep the Blast TV network growing. Call 571-3078. We are under 15 minutes to play now in the first half. And Chicago has the only goal of the match thus far. David Deck scored it on Michael Richardson's assist in the 21st minute. The Stingers looking for more here. That one too far for Deck. Skipped across the end line. Nice ball, but the field needed to be about 3 yards longer for him to track that one down. The Stingers players were commenting on how nice it was to play on this field here, because their 2-game trip down to Houston and to Austin, they said the fields were like postage stamps. They were only about 50 yards wide each. The pitch here at Kuntz is quite wide and allows for the guys to really play, so they were thrilled to see that.
Yeah, this facility has become one of the first-rate facilities in the country with the national championships last summer with the youth programs. And I was down just before the teams were warming up and can hear the Stingers complimenting the condition of the field. Most anybody would love to play in a field like this. It really motivates them. George Crawford tried to serve that one into the area to Obi Monami. Now he tries to steal this one away. Alderson gets in there, but that one will skip across the near side touchline, and it will go to Chicago. Alderson picked up the ball, tried to sneak one in there, but they caught him at it. We call that gamesmanship. Before the referee makes up his mind, maybe take a quick throw in. There you saw David Deck, who scored the Chicago goal. This is Phil Wolf. Knock it back to Ian Williams on the back line, pressured by Obi Monami. And now Harkness. More pressure put on now as the Blast swoop in, and there's Whiteford up ahead to Obi Monami. Sends it through to Mike Sloan onside. And Alderson will chip this one into the area. Shane Schmidt collides with his man David Richardson, and it's cleared away by the Stingers. And now it's a foot race far side as Pat White on the run, and he does get there and track it down. Deck kind of goes into the box, but he'll have to go back out as the Stingers reset things. Now here comes Michael Richardson. Through ball to Hamnet. Loose ball in front, knocked it home as Mile Milovac could not control that one as it bounced off him off the initial shot. And so Hamnet gets his 3rd goal of the season in the 33rd minute. Here's an example, kind of the counterattack. We went down, had a good serve in the box. Shane Schmidt has a chance to shoot it. Just gets deflected by the defender, and an early ball out all the way up to the right side of the park where our defense is a little bit unorganized. And Milo probably feels bad about that one. He probably should have hung on to it. The shot wasn't quite hard enough for him maybe to drop, and Hammett followed up. 2-0 Stingers. So Milovac, who had only given up 2 goals to this point, has given up 2 here in the first 34 minutes of the first half, and now the Blast behind 0-2. Let's take a look at that one again. As you see, Milovac has the bouncing ball coming right to him right in the 6, but he was diving to his left, and Hamnet was Johnny on the spot. Yeah, we like to see our goalkeepers, if they can't catch it, to parry it. In other words, push it around the post and give him a corner, but I'm sure his attempt was to catch it. Here's a good chance. Shane Schmidt will send it into the area, and that one is cleared back by Pat White. Good camera work, guys. And now here is Deck once again. Mike Sloan takes him down and grabs that right knee and right shin area. And a yellow card. Another yellow card. That's 2 on the Blast so far. And that one took Deck down, and I assume that went to Mike Sloan. So far, Sloan and Obi have both been pretty dangerous. Every time they've touched the ball up front, they've been able to cause some problems. The defenders haven't been able to dispossess them. Sloan's had a couple shots already, and Obi's been able to turn the corner and give us a couple serves in the box. We're down 2-0, but I would say in the second half, this is going to be a totally different game with that wind. See trainer Kyle Walker out and tending to David Deck. And the clock is stopped now, injury time.
Reminder, you can check out the latest on the Blast on the internet. You can find out results, stats, photos, player profiles, schedule, results, all at www.indianablast.com. You can also order tickets to upcoming games and merchandise. It's all at www.indianablast.com. Let's take a look at the replay of Deck's injury as you see Sloan right behind him. The key here is, was he intending? Yeah, Sloan was taking him out. The ball was in front of him. Would have been very hard for him to get to the ball. Took the man out, got the yellow card. And here's Hamnet, who's already got a goal, but Randy Whiteford kicks it out across the end line. It'll be another corner kick for Chicago. See Ernie Yarborough warming up here along the near side along with Chris Shaver. I wonder if Jimmy McDonald's going to make a change in goal. Ernie Yarborough played the last 20 minutes of the non-league game Friday night against Cincinnati, and they didn't get a shot against him. They send this one low and to the near side, but cleared away by the Blast defense. And now here's Mike Sloan in a foot race. Harkness gets there first, and Chicago controls as they have most of this first half. Under 10 minutes to play now. Ian Williams up ahead. Try to get it to Deck, but Whiteford heads it back the other way here across the near side touchline and over the bench, in fact, and into the seats. Chicago leading 2-0. Goals by David Deck and Matt Hamnet. And not only a league game, but a U.S. Open Cup qualifier. And it's going to take a big-time comeback by the Blast, down 2-0. Russell G heads that one in, but here across the near side touchline. The Stingers will do it again. This time Harkness will off to Greg Muir, and Muir will throw it in. Headed into the box. Nobody there for Chicago, and Milovac able to pounce on it.
Deck's pretty important to this team. He's on the end of most of their restarts. You always see him position himself at the back post for crosses. He's a good 6+. And the long throws, he's always getting the flick for everybody. He's causing some problems for us right now.
And Milovac's goal kick. Out of bounds along the near side, and Ian Williams will throw it in. Ian Williams, who turned 31 yesterday. Now both teams calling for that one. We'll see. They award it to the Blast. And Alderson throws it in. Sloan with two defenders on him, off to Lauren Crawford. And now it's Shane Schmidt. Tried to get that one through to Sloan, but a little bit short, and Ian Williams intercepts. Hamnet up ahead. Nice little one-touch ball over to Kevin Deck. Not taken away. Mark Phillips. And Chicago with it again. Now Phillips tracks it down. You see the time left in the first half. Under 8 minutes now, and now a foul on Chicago. On Deck, and Russell G restarts it over to Eric Nichols. Try to get it up to Obi Monami, and Obi goes down, and he grabs his right ankle. And the Blast, who've already lost his brother Emeka Monami for perhaps a month or more with a ligament injury in his knee, and Obi gets up limping, but he does get up, and now he's running on it again. Alderson has that one go off Harkness and out of bounds.
Yeah, I think the defender just fell on Obi as he slid in for the ball there. It was incidental.
Alderson throws it into Lauren Crawford. Down to Sloan. Sloan tries to spin away from Ian Williams. But Chicago clears again. The Stingers dominating the action here in the first half. Lead it on the scoreboard as well, 2-0. Here's Deck in a foot race with Russell G. G had the angle and got there first. Milovac will chip it out of there.
That was well done by Russell G. Played it back to Milo, and we can see today most goalkeepers are expected to be able to play with their feet. He does pretty well for himself in the back there.
And Mile had to do that a lot last year playing indoor with the Twisters, a game that was completely foreign to him. He's much more comfortable outdoors, but in that game you do have to, sometimes the goalkeeper almost has to function as a midfielder.
Yep.
Come way up high, and so he is very good with his feet. In fact, Mile has played outdoor, has played in the field in leagues in Chicago.
Well, every goalie thinks they can play the field, Ken.
Right,
That's
exactly.
Unwritten rule. But the style of play with the Stinger, certainly with a lot of direct balls played over the top, he has to play off his line, and that's why he's forced to come out and use his feet quite a bit. This particular team we're playing.
Whiteford at midfield. Up looking for Mike Sloan. And it seems like so far in, with 6 minutes to play in the first half, the Blast really do miss not only his speed and leadership, but Craig Ginsburg's playmaking ability. They look like they're looking for somebody to make a play or make something happen, and Guinea very able to do that, but with that hamstring pull, he's going to be out perhaps another week or so somebody has to step up. And one guy who's been kind of quiet so far today is Mark Phillips. They haven't been giving him much room to run or create anything, so we got to credit that to good defense on the part of the Stingers.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I think Mark's having a little bit of a tough first half. Richardson's a real experienced veteran player he's playing against, and so far he's had the better of the play. And Ginsburg for sure is a key player on this team. I think he's the guy that sort of ignites their motivation and gets them going.
You see Isang Jacob, he's one guy who's definitely hoping this game doesn't go into overtime, because this afternoon he has to go pick up his degree from IUPUI. He's got to be there at 4:15, so he's got to kind of hope that his team wins this in regulation. I'm sure he's hoping that. He doesn't want to hang around through overtime and through a shootout, because he's got to be across town and get the old sheepskin, get that degree in criminal justice.
Well, it's a good message for our young players, Ken. Stay in school. Get your degree first.
And here come the Blast again. Alderson will chip this one into the area. Shane Schmidt's on the far side, but he watched like an outfielder trying to play a ball. Got caught up in the wind. He did have to back up for it. And that one will go off Richardson and out on the far side. A throw in with under 5 minutes to go now in the first half. And Chicago on the long end of a 2-0 score. Schmidt throws it in. Here's Sloan in the area. Jar clears it out for Chicago. Nichols gives Hamnet a little shove in the back, but Chicago controls. Now Russell G comes up to midfield and has it far side. Looking for Obi Monami. Greg Muir on him. And Muir doing a good job of shielding the ball from Obi.
Good matchup there, two real physical type players. I can see the Stingers forwards are even deep in their own half, protecting the lead and getting behind the ball as often as possible, making it tougher on the Blast to get in and get a goal.
Muir, an outstanding defender, was a USISL All-Star in 1995. And so Brett Hall wisely puts him on one of the Blast scoring threats, Obi Monami. This will be Shane Schmidt throwing in the far side, almost like a corner, but corner's no bargain today with the wind. Ian Williams heads it out. Lauren Crawford will chip it in, but goes right to Marcus Roy on one hop.
Good try. Lauren was trying to play a diagonal just behind the last defender in there. I'd like to see him maybe shoot the ball instead in that situation.
Here's Phil Wolf sending it far side to Deck, who scored the first Chicago goal. Now Richardson, cleared away by George Crawford. Right to Lauren, who heads it back over the head of Michael Richardson. And that one will bounce into the area, and Mile Milevats has it. Just about 3 minutes to go first half. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at first half highlights. We'll break down what happened in the first half.
There's another new trend in the game, Ken. A goalkeeper's rolling the ball out of the box so he can play it off the ground like a defensive player, helping him maybe solve the problem with a strong wind and launching it up front as far as possible.
Crawford up ahead to Sloan. Sloan plays it back to Randy Whiteford. Whiteford got a boot into Matt Hamnet. Now here's a chance for the Blast. Crawford goes down. Play on, says Ken Vieira. As Crawford tried to get himself an Oscar nomination with that one. Now here's Greg Muir clearing. And Deck and Alderson went down here along the near side. Deck is throwing his body around today.
I think Alderson caught an inadvertent elbow on the lip or something here.
Here's Sloan with it, near side touchline. 2 minutes exactly to play first half. Eric Nichols at midfield, far side. Here's Nichols on the run. Shoots it through to Monami. Monami and Richardson tangle in the area far side. I believe they called Obi for the foul.
Yeah, he was pulling on his waistline there. Just maybe should have let the defender take the ball in the corner. He was in a bad situation for the defensive player, facing the wrong way. If he just could have just sort of closed him down, maybe the Blast gets something out of that. Instead, he gives a foul, and now the Stingers can relax a bit.
And now Ken Vieira has stopped the clock again with 1:39 to go, as apparently the elbow that got Alan Alderson in the lip may have brought some blood, and whenever there's blood involved, you're going to be very careful with that, as trainer Jim Tyndall will tend to Alan Alderson's cut lip here along the near side. Alan Alderson from Surrey, British Columbia. Played the last few years with Athletes in Action. He's another good one along the back line. Got his first assist of the season the other night against Cincinnati on Lauren Crawford's goal. He's all patched up and ready to go. Number 9, Alan Alderson for the Indiana Blast. 1.5 minutes to go first half. Here's Chris Jarr. That one will bounce to Russell G. Signed wide it up ahead to Eric Nichols. Deck trying to steal that one away from G. Russell sends it back to the other side, but nobody there in a red shirt. So with 1 minute to go, Chicago can just take their time. They may be content to just let this final minute play out. They've dominated play to this point. They're up 2-0. I don't think Brett Hall can have too much to complain about to his troops in the dressing room. Jimmy McDonald, that'll be another story.
2-0 is a dangerous score, as we all know. If the Blast can come out and get a goal early, maybe in the start of the second half, 2-1, all of a sudden this game changes completely, and with the wind at the back, it could become real interesting.
And as we saw last Sunday, it is never over until it's over, as George Crawford scored with 19 seconds left to tie the Rockford game at 1. Deck sends that one through, but too far for Hamnet. And Milovac has it with 20 seconds to go. He's watching the clock. 10 seconds now as that one gets caught up in the wind, and Alderson will battle Harkness for it, and Hamnet will send it back. And with 2 seconds to go, Milovac will just grab it, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So the Stingers get a pair of goals, one from David Deck and one from Matt Hamnet, dominate the first half of play at Kuntz Stadium and lead the Indiana Blast by a score of 2-0. We'll be back on the Blast TV network with a halftime show after this. Don't go away.
Langeman's Deli and Bagels is a great place for a fast meal that isn't fast food. We have 16 types of bagels baked from scratch daily from family recipes. Get your day going with a bagel and your favorite gourmet coffee. Or drop in for a delicious deli sandwich for lunch. Langeman's can even help with your party or corporate gathering with our boxed lunches, deli trays, party trays, and our Party Bagel Hero, with 3 convenient Indianapolis locations. Langeman's Deli and Bagels.
There'll be a new look and feel in the exhibit area at the 1997 Indiana Black Expo, with better opportunities for consumers to see your exhibit and learn about your company, product, or services. Your booth will be seen by thousands from the Midwest and from Indianapolis, the Midwest's 3rd most affluent African-American community. So reserve your Indiana Black Expo booth today. Call Marcia Bennett, 925-2702, 925-2702. The 1997 Indiana Black Expo, July 17th through 20th, the Indiana Convention Center and RCA Dome.
Welcome back to Kuntz Stadium, everybody. Ken Tomash and Ian Martin with you. And Ian, a couple of lapses led to both Chicago goals, and as a result, the Blast are down 0-2.
Yeah, I think this was a tough start for us. The win was really a factor, and the Stingers have done well to put away their chances. Probably Milo would like to have that one rebound that he gave up. Going in at 1-0 halftime wouldn't be quite as bad as 2-0. It's going to be an interesting second half for us.
Let's take a look at those first 2 goals by Chicago. Here's the first one in the 21st minute as Michael Richardson sent it through to David Deck.
It was a great ball by Michael. First touch by Deck. He seals off the defender, pushes it into the back post. That was a good first touch by Mr. Deck there. That was a nice job.
And some 13 minutes later, The mistake by Milovac's, the one you mentioned that he would like to have back when he was unable to hold on to the bounding ball, and Matt Hamnett put it through. Here we see Mile had to dive to his left, and Hamnett there for the rebound to put it home.
Yeah, it just got out of his grasp. Right? With the rule of thumb is if the goalie gets his hands on it, he should be able to catch it. Probably could have parried the ball around the outside, in other words, and give him a corner rather than a rebound goal, but good heads-up play by Hamnett to follow the rebound.
First half stats, Stingers, of course, on the lead on the scoreboard 2-0 and have outshot the Blast 4-2, lead in corners 3-1, and a few fouls there in the first half. 13 all told, 8 for the Blast and 5 for the Stingers. Back with the second half kickoff after this on the Blast TV Network.
There's a lot of great stuff your kids can watch on TV, and some not so great stuff. So how do you teach them the difference? A new instructional video called Taking Charge of Your TV. It can help. There's nothing complicated here. Just simple, common sense steps your family can take together. To get a copy, contact your local cable operator or the Family and Community Critical Viewing Project. They'll teach you to help your kids be better viewers.
Some people call them dumb animals. But there's one thing they understand, and a lot of humans don't. That physical activity is an essential part of healthy living. In fact, even moderate physical activity can help reduce your risk factors for heart disease, which makes acting like an animal anything but dumb. A message from the American Heart Association.
Time Warner Cable is looking for enthusiastic customer service personnel to join our customer call center. Strong communication skills and a minimum of 1 year phone experience is required. Available shifts are noon to 11 p.m. Starting pay is commensurate with experience and ranges between $7.75 and $12.85 an hour. If interested, send or fax your resume to our offices and you could be on your way to an exciting career in entertainment communications.
In an emergency, doctors you've never met will have only moments to make decisions about your care. They'll need information quickly, your conditions, allergies, medications, physician and family contacts. But you may be unconscious or in so much pain that you can't recall critical details, and the risk of complications can increase significantly. Medic Alert provides this information within seconds. Help us help you by wearing the Medic Alert emblem. Call now for free information.
Back at Kuntz Stadium, and Coach McDonald has made a change in goal. Ernie Yarborough, the big guy from Indiana, goes in. He played the last 20 minutes of Friday night's game against Cincinnati, but this will be his first meaningful action. Blast were already up 4-0 when he came in the other night, and now he's going to be counted on to hold down the fort and not let any more pass, while the Blast will have to try to get at least 2 to get level and 3 to win this important D3 Pro League game and U.S. Open Cup qualifying match. Ken Temetsko also into the lineup for the Blast, replacing Eric Nichols at midfield. And Yarborough gets his first touch on the ball. Was a backup and a good one for Jerry Yeagley down at Indiana University. Had the misfortune of having a guy named Scott Sofel playing in front of him, and it's tough to get a little PT when you've got that guy in front of you. He was only an outstanding player and now in MLS.
Strong tradition in Indiana for sure with their goalkeepers. Jurgen Sonner is another player that's playing overseas in England. But I think we just saw one bounce, the ball landed in the 18-yard box with Ernie's strong punt. It could be a tactical move by Jimmy McDonald, and probably Milo's had better days. It could be just shake the lineup a little bit from the coaching standpoint.
And now with the wind at his back, that will help Ernie as well. And maybe get some more long balls. And here's Obi Monami, gets dragged down on the far side by Chris Jarr, and they'll award the free kick to the Blast. Just outside the box on the far side. Obi a little slow to get up.
We started the game, we had a 3-4-3 formation with the Stingers. Interesting to see if Coach Brett Hall changes his lineup, maybe drops Richardson a little deeper, kind of protect the lead, because I think the Stingers are going to be on their heels a bit this half with this wind again.
Shane Schmidt will take the free kick, far side.
Maybe George Crawford gets on the end of this, scored a great goal a week ago against the Rockford Raptors.
One thing Crawford very deceptive. He can really leap. Schmidt sends this one into the area. Temetsko is there with a header, and it goes over the crossbar. I believe it went off a Stingers player. The Blaster hoping for a corner kick.
Good call. It's a corner. There's another serve we talked about earlier, Ken. The ball was bending away from the goalkeeper. Play with some pace, keep the keeper on his line, and Temecco almost gets on the end of that one for a goal.
So Temecco makes his presence felt immediately after being inserted at halftime by Jimmy McDonald. And now Schmidt, the corner kick near side. Schmidt serves it up. It is a bender into the area, and Crawford did get up with the head, but it goes straight up. Bicycle kick try by Mike Sloan. Blocked away by the defense. Still controlled. Lauren Crawford trying to get out to Obi Monami. Shot and just went high and wide by Mark Phillips. I thought Phillips had broken the drought when he scored against Cincinnati on his 12th shot of the season. That one, a tough one in some traffic. Marcus Roy has to go track it down there behind the goal.
Little tactical change by Coach McDonald. Phillips has been pulled wide on the left. He's probably more comfortable playing wide for the Blast in this scenario. And Temesco's brought in to maybe anchor the defense a little bit there.
Now Marcus Roy has to battle that wind, and we'll see how it affects him. You see it big time affected that one as he barely got it out to midfield. And so Obi Monami tracks it down for the Blast. That one went off jar, and it'll be a throw in on the far side for Obi. Now Muir had that one go off the boot and over out of play, almost out to the street. Lauren's going to have to hop the fence to go get that one. So if you want to be a ball kid,
we have an opening.
You can see that there are many openings here. Just call the Blast office at 327-KICK if you're 12 years old or older. Shane Schmidt will run up and throw it into the area. Temecco missed the header, cleared away by Ian Williams for Chicago, but across the far side touchline for another throw-in for the Blast.
Two things happening here, Ken. The strong win and the 2-goal lead for the Stingers. The tendency is human nature. The players are going to sort of camp out on that 2-goal lead and be complacent. And the Blast know they have a little bit of help with that strong win behind them to come out and maybe put some pressure on them. It looks identical to the start of the first half. You know, it's all been the Blast so far, just like it was the Stingers before.
That one across the end line, and a goal kick for Marcus Roy. Wind seems to have picked up a little bit too.
Good.
And so, discretion being the better part of valor for Marcus Roy, he played that one short. And hammed it with a nice bicycle kick back, but G sends it up ahead. Phillips, one touch with the head, try to get it to Sloan. And here's Monami all alone. In the area, he's got 3 defenders around him, takes a shot and off the post. Outstanding as Monami found himself alone, and then quickly when 3 defenders converged, he was still able to get free and get off his shot. Bounced off the post. Sometimes you'll see it hit that post and go in, but it skipped out the other way. Obi Monami making his presence felt early here in the second half.
Yeah, the half's only 5 minutes old, Ken. We've already saw 3 good scoring chances for the Blast.
Now it's Lauren Crawford far side as the Blast once again mount the attack. They'll try to chip it through to Monami, but Richardson has it and clears for Chicago. Thanks for watching us here on the Blast TV network, which our flagship is Wave TV 53 in Indianapolis, Time Warner Cable Channel 20, Comcast Channel 13 in the non-upgraded areas, and Channel 99 in upgraded areas, Time Warner Cable Channel 6 in Carmel, and Insight Cable Channel 19 in Fishers and Noblesville. Also want to welcome those of you watching us in Chicago as the Stingers get a little exposure in Chicagoland here today. Let's take a look at how close the Blast came to getting their first goal of the day as Monami on the run. He gets past Muir and then dances around Ian Williams. And Marcus Roy tried, if that one was just less than a foot the other way.
I think Marcus got a piece of that. That was a good example for our young players watching the game on TV. Obi didn't try to kill the ball again. He tried to place it into the corner and just caught the post, and I think the goalkeeper should have credit on that. He tipped it a bit.
And a reminder for those of you watching us in Chicago that you can get Stingers tickets by calling 847-670-KICK. And their home opener is coming up this Friday night against the Blast at 7:30 at the Hive in Arlington Heights. That one is sent across and gets caught up in the wind. It goes across the end line on the far side. So Ernie Yarborough untested as of yet. Ernie played very well in the 2 preseason games. Got the win down at IU against his alma mater with a strong second half, and then played a strong second half against you guys, the Butler Bulldogs, Ian. We got the win there.
Yeah, that was a good performance by the Blast. Only their second match of the year, and I think for them to come out and beat Indiana and they knocked us off 4-2. It gave them, again, some more confidence and certainly some credibility.
Well, one thing we saw with Ernie that really may have surprised a lot of people, I know it did me, was how quick he is for a guy as large as he is, because he is a big guy at 6'1", 235, but he displayed some good quickness off the line in both of those games.
Yeah, he's. I think he's going to be working the IU program this fall, training the younger keepers that are coming in. And I think it's probably the reason he's done so well is that he's an intelligent goalkeeper, and he knows what he's supposed to be doing in there.
And he'll be the first to tell you that he has not given up a goal in many years, because in spot duty the last couple of years he was down at IU, he did not allow a goal, and then hasn't given up one yet as a pro. He had an outstanding start as a freshman down at IU when he had to come in late in the season due to injury, and threw a bunch of shutouts down the stretch to help IU win the Big Ten several years back. Brett Hall is getting set to make his first substitution of the day. Jimmy McDonald has already used 2 of his. This one by Schmidt chipped into the box. But before Phillips can get there, it goes across the end line. We're getting set to see Jose Flita. Flita will come in, number 24. We'll see who Brett Hall elects to send him in for here in the
he's taking out Williams, it looks like.
55th minute. Ian Williams, who was shaken up not too long ago, just on the play where Obi Monami hit the post. So Flita for Williams.
Yeah, he's hobbling off a little bit. Maybe a better matchup with Flita and Sloan. Some quickness certainly with Sloan. It's got to be a concern of Brett Hall's.
Now Marcus Roy again gets it up in the air, and that's problematic for goalies today. Crawford tries to get it up to Monami. Richardson has it. Schmidt on him. But Shane unable to free him of the ball. Richardson sends it through. Crawford here to Ken Temetzko, who came in at halftime. Mark Phillips, and quickly 3 gold shirts surround Mark Phillips. They're not letting him get any free room. Monami does get free, but look at him and Jar, and no foul call. Jar, those two were just battling all the way down the field, and Monami able to stay upright. Jar did not. Neither player called for the foul, and they do a little bit of elbowing on the way back. Yeah, let him know you're there. White with the throw in to Richardson. As the Stingers now going into that wind, having a little harder time dominating the action in the box as they did the first half. But Deck gets free. He scored the first goal, sends that one across, and Yarbrough with the catch. And he'll send it out with the wind at his back. Look at that one go. Not quite far enough for Mike Sloan's purposes, and Flita heads it back the other way.
Nice spin turn by Deck when he received the ball and made a defender commit. Spun, received the ball all in one move, and was able to swerve it in the box.
Now here's Temetzko with room to roam on the far side. Gets around Phil Wolf, or tries to. Temetzko long and lanky. Battling 2 defenders for it, and unfortunately his teammates just standing around rather than helping out. Let's take a look at that. As you saw, look at this. As Chris Jar, number 20, and Obi Monami, number 4, battling all the way down the field. And Obi able to stay upright. Just 6 foot and 180 pounds. His man went down. Unfortunately, the ball was on the wrong side, or Obi might have had some room to run with the ball.
Good non-call by the ref. Both players are doing the same thing, so he let him play.
Free kick far side now. Shane Schmidt from about 23 yards out. As the Blast look to get on the scoreboard for the first time today. Schmidt sends it in, but Greg Muir heads it to Harkness, and then Harkness clears it out to midfield. Russell G has it. And the Blast, who've had a few scoring opportunities here in this second half, look to get their first one past Marcus Roy. Here's Sloan and Flita. That one goes out of bounds. And it'll be a goal kick for Chicago. And now Flita looks like he may have turned an ankle on that little get together with Sloan. Sloan is already playing with a yellow card. Sloan and Russell G were booked in the first half. So we mentioned a little rough and tumble first half with 13 fouls called. And now Roy set to kick it out of there. Well, Marcus Roy was academic All-American at Northern Illinois. You'd think he would have learned by now after a couple of those that he can't serve them up in the air on a goal kick on a windy day like today.
Well, his father was a head coach, so you never know if the grades were legit, Ken. Who knows?
Only one coach could say that to another coach. Remember, those of you watching in Chicago, that's Ian Martin at Butler University.
Sorry, Willie.
And here is Chicago on the move again. Nice little one-touch from Pat White. Off to Phil Wolf. Richardson loses it as it went off Mark Phillips. And now Phillips. And Richardson couldn't get there in time, and so it'll be a throw in here along the near side. As
Little battle between Alderson and Wolf, little tangling up, and the linesman caught him, put up the flag. Alderson took another bop in the nose. They both got carded.
So this is turning out to be the beginnings of, could be a very good rivalry. When you have any two teams from Chicago and Indianapolis, you will have a decent rivalry. All you need is something to get it going, and I think today that has happened. There has been some jawing, there have been some elbows. All we need now is a little controversy to really make things interesting. Monami in the area, but he had 3 yellow shirts around him. Sloan was in there as well, and it bounced right to Marcus Roy. And now with Obi putting a little pressure on him, Marcus decides to roll it out far side to Richardson. Up to Wolf, too far for him, and Randy Whiteford chips it up far side. Tometsko has it. And Harkness sent it off Lauren Crawford and out of bounds far side. Remember, this portion of today's game brought to you without interruption by Kroger. And you can get involved with the Blast TV network. Sponsorship opportunities still available by calling 317-571-3078. This one chipped into the area. And back out the other way as Lauren Crawford has it. Up ahead to Sloan. Marked by Greg Muir. And it skips across that line. One linesman I thought awarded that one to the Blast, but Chicago throws it in. And now here's George Crawford. Stingers do an excellent job on double teaming the ball, Ian.
Yeah, good pressure on the ball. It makes it difficult for any player. 2 versus 1. It's not so easy to get out of.
Here's Mark Phillips taking a shot, and Marcus Roy able to grab that one. A worm burner.
That was a pretty good punt there.
That one he got a good foot into. Lauren Crawford has it far side. Harkness on him. Lauren goes down, and Harkness will jump right up to throw it in. And does. This portion of today's game brought to you without interruption by Ameritech Cellular. As David Richardson sends that shot.
Good pressure by the Blast. Excuse me. Good pressure by the Blast there, Ken. Phillips and Crawford both putting pressure on the shooter, and inadvertently he misses it. That's the key to any team's defense, is to get back, get behind the ball, and not give them time to set up.
And now Brett Hall making his second substitution of the day as Danny Yonan goes in for Matt Hamnett. Yonan has played for the Stingers the last couple of years. And number 10 replaces Matt Hamnett. Don't forget, the next Blast home game is Sunday, June the 1st at 4 o'clock. Hopefully it won't be quite this windy, maybe a little warmer, against the Cleveland Caps. That's an important D3 Pro League match. The Caps beat the Blast 1-0 in overtime the first time they met back on May the 2nd. For tickets to that one, call 317-327-KICK. Ken Tometsko tried to head that one down to Randy Whiteford. They called the foul on Tometsko. Well, it is a windy day here today, and
it's really a factor. It's unbelievable for the players, and both teams' goalkeepers have decided to kick out of the back. I'd like to see them try to build it up and maybe play a little bit more safer and secure. Blast has had some great chances early on, and make this thing interesting, get it 2-1.
Here's Richardson up ahead looking for Danny Yonan. That'll bounce right at the edge of the box. And rather than take a chance on Using his hands outside the area, Yarborough just shields it from Yonan and lets it go out of bounds. And now we'll see the big right foot.
Jeez.
And that one is a ballistic missile headed towards the front line. Richardson gets it up in the air. Lauren Crawford up to Shane Schmidt. Tried to backheel pass, but it's stolen away. And Chicago's Pat White has it on the far side. And now Jim Harkness goes down with Lauren Crawford. Crawford took the feet out from under him, and now Harkness hurt over on the far side. Now Harkness up, he's all right. Should be used to getting banged around. Harkness played in the NPSL over the winter for the Edmonton Drillers and Detroit Rockers. See Freddie King hoping for a chance to get into this game perhaps. As we're now see 27 minutes to go in regulation play at Kuntz Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Ken Tomash, Ian Martin with you on the Blast TV network. Third of 10 telecasts this season. Here's Sloan at midfield. And Lauren Crawford, the man on him. Little Lauren tries to get away. Temetsko finally gets it over to George Crawford. And Russell Gio cleared out of there. Up ahead to Obi Monami. Monami and Jar collide again.
Stinger defenders are doing well. Every time Sloan or Obi touch the ball, they're right on their back, making it difficult, knocking their balance off just enough to spring the ball loose for another player to come in and collect it from the Stingers.
That time Russell G returned the favor, sending David Deck down to the deck. And now here's Phillips with some room to run. Away from Richardson, but he has not much to do with it. He'll center it across, but it goes off a defender, and Marcus Roy is there to gobble it up. So even when Phillips does get a little space, he didn't have a whole lot of options on that play.
No, Sloan was a little bit late getting into the box, and Phillips was looking to serve it to him early. Phillips having a good second half. He's had the ball 3 times now in the final third. Again, I think he's more comfortable on the flank coming inside like he's doing.
But Chicago still on the long end of the score, 2-0 with 25:45 to go, and here they come on the attack looking for more. Danny Yonan lost the ball. And so Randy Whiteford will clear it out to midfield. Monami tries a sliding tackle to take it away from Richardson, but cannot. Richardson will chip it up ahead into the area. Headed back the other way by Alderson. Good little battle going on with Alderson today. And the other Richardson, David, sends it high and over the goal back behind there. David Richardson, not only a good player, but was the 1996 National Coach of the Year by the U.S. Youth Soccer Association. Outstanding coach in the Chicago area. As Jimmy McDonald, the club coach at Center Grove Soccer Club, down on south side of Indianapolis.
Yarborough's gonna ping this one again. Again, they're pushing everybody forward, looking for a knockdown, get that first goal.
That one not quite as far, but Lauren Crawford gets it to Shane Schmidt.
Schmidt's having a pretty good game so far. He hasn't given the ball away very much at all, making good decisions.
There's Monami on right wing. Will try. He had to turn and fire that all in one motion as the ball was on its way out of bounds. Tough angle.
And the wind again out caused that problem.
Stingers lead the Blast 2-0. We're under 25 minutes to go in regulation. As the ball kid's getting a workout today. She had to track that one down all the way back at the fence, but Marcus Roy has some new leather and up and sending it out to midfield. Crawford and Temetsko both headed out there. Russell G will send it up ahead, looking for Mike Sloan. But Jose Flita sends it back. You saw that big shadow of a plane go over the center circle as we are right in a flight path heading to Indianapolis International. Sloan able to keep that one in bounds on the far side. This might be the start of something as he gets it to Obi in the area, lays it off to Temetsko. Temetsko collides with Flita, and Chicago with the ball once again. Now a little more intense defensive pressure by the Blast as Lauren Crawford took that one away, and then he goes down. Sloan battling his man outside the area, poked away from him by Flita. Lauren Crawford is still down.
Getting up slow, isn't he?
Now he'll get up. Lauren's a little slight of frame at 5'7", 151. He does pack a lot of speed into that little body, but sometimes the rough and tumble is not his game. But it'll be a throw in far side by Shane Schmidt.
Shane's got a pretty long throw here. They're trying to get the flick off of one of the front runners possibly, or Temesco.
Saw Crawford make a run up. Whenever there's any kind of set play, Crawford kind of likes to sneak up there, make a run, and try to get up high because he's got one of the best vertical leaps on this team. Lauren will serve that one into the box, and Phillips not able to get there before it falls into the arms of Marcus Roy. We'll throw it out, and now it's time George Crawford will head it off to Alan Alderson. And Russell G turns and fires. Looking for Sloan, but Sloan and Jose Fleta. And this is Fleta near side. Has it taken away by Alderson, and Alderson will shield him, and they will award that one Chicago's way.
We'll see if the Blast make any adjustments, maybe push a third forward up after we get below 20-minute mark. Got to do something to shake up the lineup here a little bit possibly, or make it a little more interesting for us.
Well, Brett Hall looks like he's set to send Jason Renzi in. Blast looking for a handball on Richardson there, but it was right in front of referee Ken Vieira, and he said no, didn't get the arm. Jimmy McDonald begs to differ. He's off the bench and making his point, trying to.
Well, if the ball hits the hand, it's unintentional. That's not a handball. But he reaches out and tries to collect it that way, then certainly that would be a handball.
Now here's Phillips collecting it here. Richardson on him. Alderson has it now. It's been a good little battle all day between Alderson and Deck. And Alderson and some of the other players. Craig Ginsburg catches that one on the fly as it and quickly thrown into Phillips. Lays it off for Alderson. They've done a really good job of keeping men on Obi Monami too. Between Chris Jarr. Chris Jarr has got that responsibility now and has done a good job with it. Keeping the 22-year-old in check. This is David Richardson.
And now every ball that's contested by the Stingers against our front runners for the Blast, the defenders for the Stingers are doing a nice job. Their day has not been easy at all for the front runners on the Blast team. Credit to the Stingers defenders.
So Jason Rienzi comes in for Jim Harkness with 21 minutes to go in regulation. And Chicago holding on to a 2-0 lead. There's Sloan backing up. Phillips will head this one high. Sloan kind of lost it for a minute. And cleared away by the Chicago defense. That one will go out over on the far side, and Randy Whiteford will throw it in there for the Blast. Now Lauren Crawford got shoved down from behind over there on the far side. Some of the fans here today on a beautiful day for soccer. A little windy, but temperature in the 70s. Maybe finally winter is gone, Ian. I always say that here in Indianapolis, but winter always has a way of making a late spring comeback in this town.
It was pretty chilly here on Friday, that's for sure, but a beautiful day today.
Now the Blast will be on the road for a while before that next home match against Cleveland on the 1st of June. So I'm fairly certain it'll be warm by then. Shane Schmidt called for the foul as he ran into Phil Wolf from behind, and quickly on the restart, here come the Stingers. Jose Fleta pushing it around Russell G. G tries to recover. They get it off to Danny Yonan. Yonan tried to get past Alderson. Now stolen away by Richardson just outside the box. Takes a shot in front. Loose ball and cleared off the line by Lauren Crawford, it appeared.
Great play by Lauren Crawford. Got back. Ernie had to commit and come out for the ball, and the new midfielder just came in, slipped in front. Lauren pulled it off the line.
That was easily a 3-0 game right there, and I think maybe the Stinger player thought it was too easy. In fact, he waited too long, and that was all the opening that Lauren Crawford needed. So I think Ernie should be buying Lauren Crawford dinner tonight.
Yep. It could be a good jolt for the Blast players now to get everybody fired up a little bit, try to get that goal. Looks like Phillips is pushing up a little bit more than he was before. I can see Obi sort of dropping in the midfield just now.
This is Randy Whiteford trying to get it up to Mike Sloan. Sloan has had no room to operate at all today. He's had a gold shirt on him the entire day. Here's Ken Temesco with 2 men on him. As the Stingers continue to double team the ball. Oh, a loss here today with 18.5 minutes to go. A loss here today would just about take the Blast out of the running for moving on in the U.S. Open Cup and would drop them further behind Rockford. The race for the division lead. Of course, only the top 3 teams in the 4-team North Central Division will make the playoffs. In all the other divisions, it's the top 4, but with only 4 teams in this division, only the top 3 make it. And here's Deck on the run. Onside, and it's one-on-one as he digs Ernie out, and then Yarborough comes up to grab it off his foot. And now he shouts encouragement to his teammates and hopes that that fires him up.
2 great defensive plays in a row by Ernie and Lauren. Just before that, Russell G had to commit and leave his sweeper position and missed the tackle on the side, and Deck was 1v1 with our last man in the back there for the Blast.
Outstanding play by Ernie Yarborough to grab that one right off the foot of David Deck. There you see Lauren Crawford got tangled up with Richardson. See Isang Jacob warming up here along the near side. Maybe we'll see Isang, who's only got about a half an hour to get to graduation. Russell G. They chip it into the area. Let's take a look at how Ernie managed this as Deck is coming in, and you can see Ernie watching him the whole way. Deck tries to fake him to the side, and Ernie just stuck that big paw out, and this time, unlike Melee in the first half, Ernie was able to hold on. Just a great play to keep it a 2-0 game, and that could be key if the Blast come back. Those 2 defensive plays are going to be huge. And now Richardson will leave as Ricky Gittell comes in.
And Coach Hall is bringing in some fresh legs, make sure they're getting behind the ball again, preserve the 2-0 lead for the Stingers. Made a couple of substitutions already. This kick didn't get but 25 yards, maybe 30 yards out of the box. It went so strong.
Now here's Temetsko up, and here's Chicago on the run. They push it up ahead looking for Yonan. Alan Alderson does a good job of getting back. They'll whistle Yonan for the foul. Almost could have been an advantage. G up ahead to Sloan, who again has a man all over him. It's Fleta. Shane Schmidt gets it to Phillips. Phillips now lays it off to George Crawford. Tried to send it through to Obi Monami on the far side. Taken away, though, and now taken away by Phillips. Phillips sends his man down just outside the area. Phillips dancing, looking for help from a teammate. And again, the Stingers defensively just swarming, just like their namesake. Deck was offside, and now we will see Isang Jacob head into the game. Number 10. All-American, 3 times at Indiana Wesleyan University up in Marion, and also an assistant coach with the IUPUI Metros. And after he picks up the old criminal justice sheepskin today, we'll start teaching over there at Butler, Ian. He's going to be teaching some courses at Butler. Loves working with kids, wants to be a teacher.
Real exciting player. I think he's going to be a problem for the Stingers when he comes in. He's got good size. Most of the Stinger defenders are quite big guys in the back. And he's been a goal scorer his whole life. That's going to help. It's a good decision by Coach McDonald.
Into the box and back out again the other way, and here comes Deck once again. Alderson tracks that one down at midfield. Schmidt has it. Thinks better of sending it here to Sloan on the near side, and that was a good move because Fleta was right there step for step with Sloan, and now Alderson back out to Crawford near side. Under 15 minutes to go. Alderson into the area. In front, Obi Monami scores! It's George Crawford! George Crawford scores again. Well, he must love playing in front of the TV cameras because for the second straight week, George Crawford gets the Blast on the board.
It all started with Alderson. That was a great build-up. He served the ball in the box quite high, and the wind just sort of kept it backspinning somehow. And the goalkeeper was a little hesitant. It was 18 yards out. Maybe mishandled by the defenders, and it bounced in, and George was in a good position running through the midfield there to get us the goal.
So in the 75th minute, George Crawford has scored to make it 2-1, and now, as you say, anything can happen, and now Jacob does come in. Mark Phillips gets the assist on that goal, and as the ball goes out across the touchline far side, let's take a look at the replay on that. Actually, we'll do it right here as Crawford around Richardson, falling down. It beats Marcus Roy to the far post. So George Crawford takes the team lead with his second goal, and that gives him 4 points on the season. A guy who, from what I hear, when he was a youth player in Lawrence, was an outstanding offensive player, but he got down to Jerry Yeagley at IU. Coach Yeagley turned him into an all Big Ten defender. That's the position he played indoors last season. Only scored 1 goal indoor for the Indianapolis Twisters, but has 2 here already.
Yeah, George had a great career at Indiana, and he was a midfielder all through his youth career here in Indianapolis. What a nice player he is, and he obviously wants to win. He wants to score goals, and he was able to get in there and sneak in the seam behind the defenders and get that goal.
Phil Wolf shaken up on that play and awarded the free kick with 12.5 minutes now to play. And Blast down just a goal. That one will skip to Yarborough. And Deck did a good job to pull up and get away from that. We saw Matt Gosto run into the Rockford keeper, Brad Howder, last week, and that put Gosto down on the floor for a few minutes. And anybody who runs smack dab into Ernie Yarborough might be peeling him off Ernie with a spatula. 12 minutes to go now as Yarborough steals a look at the clock. He knows he's only down by 1 goal, and he's also got a big lift and big assist when Lauren Crawford cleared that one off the goal line, allowing his teammates to get within 1. And now you're going to see them throw everything up front here in the last 12 minutes. Good defense over on the far side by Russell G to take down Danny Yonan. The ball across the touchline on the far side. Let's take a look at another angle at George Crawford's goal. As you see, yeah, Phillips does.
Flicks it
right down, and from 7 yards out, Crawford with an outstanding second goal of the season. For Phillips now, that's a goal and an assist on the season for him, so with 3 points, he's now second in scoring. This one's chipped into the box, and Crawford will head it up high. That one comes here to the near side. It will look like it was going to dribble across the line, but Deck tracks it down for Chicago. Off Russell G. Now Ricky Gattel sends it across the goal line, and Yarborough, knowing that time is of the essence, with 11 minutes exactly to play, gets it back from a ball kid.
Looks like Coach McDonald's taking Ken Temesco out, I believe, and he's put Sloan back in a defensive role, and he's probably going to ask him to sneak forward. I keep seeing him signal for his guys to push up. So maybe we're going with 3 in the back instead of 4 in the back, Ken.
What you hope is that doesn't leave you
exposed, yeah.
Be short back there, because if Chicago is able to get one here in the last 11 minutes, that will just about seal it. And here come the Stingers. Far side, Phil Wolf tracking it down, keeps it in, but Randy Whiteford gets it there for Indiana. Tries to send it up to Isang Jacob at midfield. Fleeta on him. Richardson. Now Alderson to Sloan with exactly 10 minutes to play, and Sloan can turn and burn. Try to get away from Deck. Those two go down. Boy, Deck has been taking a beating today.
It's a silly foul by Sloan. He's been called a few times today. He's a very physical player, but he needs to just sort of keep his hands to himself a bit there and give his teammates a little bit more of a chance. Just eating away the clock for the Blast. You can certainly see the intensity of the game has picked up now. Everyone's chasing, everyone's pressuring.
Muir's free kick gets up in that win. And now here's Isang Jacob with it. Tried to send that one through far side, but nothing doing as Phil Wolf sends it back. And the Stingers offside was David Deck. Under 10 minutes to play now. The restart, a quick one, as everything will be now for the Blast these last 9 minutes. G up to Jacob. Across the touchline, far side. Quickly they throw it in, and Yonan will clear it for Chicago. And he clears it up into those seats on the far side. Don't forget, follow the latest on the Blast on the internet, www.indianablast.com, for everything you want to know about this team and the Indiana Blaze. You can even order tickets and merchandise online along with players' information, stats, photos, everything you want to know at www.indianablast.com. Foul on the far side.
And more gamesmanship again there, Ken. Phillips took a little bit of a dive there and got a good free kick opportunity for us. See if Shane Sitt swerves this into the box. We got plenty of guys forward now.
And they're all circling around inside there. Schmidt runs up, chips it in. Sloan is in there, headed back the other way by the Chicago defense. Could have been dangerous play there on Yonan as he clears it here to the near side, and again a throw in for the Blast. They used to, until this year, they had the kick-in option where you could kick this in almost like a corner kick from a little farther up. They've eliminated that rule this year, and so Schmidt will run up and throw it in. Tries to get it into the box, and does. Nobody out up high, and Yonan controls for Chicago. 7.5 minutes to go. And the Stingers lead the Blast. That one off Russell G and out of bounds, far side. Of course, the Stingers will do everything, taking their good sweet time doing everything from here on out. The Blast just the opposite. Here's Pat White getting free, only for a moment. Has Randy Whiteford on him. He'll send it across. Deck is there, but Yarborough up to make the grab, and he'll send it out quickly and far. Good job by Greg Muir of judging where that one was going to come down with the wind. They play it up ahead, but too far up ahead was Yonan, was offside with under 7 to play now. So now Yarborough is coming way out above the 35-yard mark. He should be able to get this one down into the box with the wind at his back. None of his teammates are even going that far. Knocks it down just a little bit. Fine Phillips on the far side, but
George is on the defender's back there, maybe preventing them from getting to the ball. It was a good ball because Phillips was in the space behind him.
Blast could have had a nice little fast break opportunity there. Alderson able to clear it out of the back, but across the touchline near side.
Alderson's had one heck getting beat up a little bit.
Yonan strips that one by Richardson, but across the end line to go. Yarborough will hustle. Blast more chances at it. Late game heroics. We play 15 minutes.
Long throw from Shane Schmidt again. Chances before the end of the match.
Schmidt throws it into the area. They may call that on Russell G. And that one will hurt because now with 2:11 to go, this sweet time, Greg Muir in no hurry to get that one. Now 2 minutes to play. Taken away. Sends it far and too far. Blast need to come up with a big defensive play. Randy Whiteford trying to get it.
Have to push forward. Take some. That's trouble.
It's over Marcus Roy's head and out of play, but Ernie Yarborough gets a big hand.
There's a new number, I think July 1st applied there if it would have went in.
Boy.
Not in any hurry. Stingers put, and he'll start it once the ball's been kicked.
Roy has that one come almost straight back and cleared away by Yonan. Chance for the Blast. Whiteford try to decided about what he should do, and Yarborough wisely clears it out of there. Whiteford tried to send right after he did it, said, oops. The time that passes between the time.
Bench isn't too happy about that because the Blast goalkeeper Ernie Yarborough kicked the ball out of bounds.
22 seconds ago now. Other way around, and now clock. As Chicago will likely play this one short.
Corner here. Yeah. That should do it.
The clock has hit 0, and the whistle blows. Chicago Stingers have defeated the Indiana score of 2-1. And remember the one that hit the post and the Lauren Crawford cleared off the end line. The Blast just without top.
Yeah, I think the coin toss decided to take the win at their end of the win and got their 2 goals early in the first half. And 2 goals down team. So the Blast comes out and gets that 1 goal to make it interesting 2-1. Just sort of ran out of gas.
The ladies are not quite a team. Then one day, Helen heard about strength training. She got a free fact sheet just by calling one muscles and bones. It really gives us a lift. Give yourself a lift. Call for a free fact sheet.
The F-16 fight 1350 in under a minute, and in the hands of the right mechanic.
Kuntz Stadium, everybody. The Chicago Stingers. Chicago got on top first in the 21st minute on David goal.
Good service by Michael Richardson.
And then it was in the 34th minute. Again, it's this one inside. Really unable to hang on, and Hamnet made him.
Yeah, a good serve by.
The Blast had their opportunity many occasions, but none closer when Obi Monami, one of the new Rebecca, had set up a goal against us on Friday night. Put that one past Roy. Able to 14 minutes and 19 seconds. Stingers improve to and the Blast fall to 0-3 in the. This was a U.S. Open Cup loss for the Blast as well, so doubly.
We have 16 types of bagels. Get your day going with it and help with your party or corporate gathering with our box lunch Indianapolis locations.
Hey kids, then sign up now for the shooting fundamentals to kids entering grades 1 through 8. So don't sit on the bench this summer. 3-6-5-5-3 and get.
Thanks a lot. Talking with the player. Had a beautiful goal in the first part of the half. In the 21st minute.
At it back post, so just what we've been working on in practice. So that's about it. Hard, and there was and may the best man win. So
well, this was a cup
times as well as so we set the tone early and
the Blast match between these two teams on Chicago. What do the Blast need to do now, or are they just for maybe a little bit more luck and some of
I'm impressed. I think we talked about the beginning of the match. I was impressed with the Stingers. They did work hard, and they were able to contain our speed.
Where the little trip up to Chicagoland is played against them, and Craig Ginsburg.
It's really hard to defend against, or even mention before on the field. We showed some depth in the goal today.
Preseason, when you have one, when a coach makes a substitution like that, the other guy.
Absolutely, and I would say already we've seen that Ernie stepped in for them, and I think from a player standpoint, he trains hard, and he deserves to get his chance.
Stingers beat the Blast 2-1 to improve. Blast fall to 0-3 in the league. Tonight, June the 5th, when the Indiana Blake flip. So for Ian Martin and Greg Rakestraw, and for everybody, we'll talk to you in a few weeks. You've been watching the Blast TV Network. This has been a production.
Stuff your kids